Bend and Scoop is brought to you by Harder Concepts, the best bars in North Dallas. Eat, drink, party harder.
I love Bend and Scoop, man.
You want to hear some music? You'd like that, wouldn't you? Well, today you're going to get all the music you want.
The request lines are now open. KGFJ Soul Radio.
Do it now, man.
Request lines are up.
It's open, man.
Got any Blue Oyster Cult?
No, I don't have any Blue Oyster Cult. I ate 34 pairs last time around. Where were you? I was that close to working at 7-Eleven, you know.
Pass the word along. Tell the men it's time to shoot the moon.
Shoot the moon!
Out there on the microphone. On the microphone.
Shoot the moon. Shoot the moon.
The attitude dictates that you don't care whether she comes, stays, lays, or prays. I mean, whatever happens, your toes are still tapping.
Hey, Strawberry! Oh, Strawberry. Hey, what's happening, man? How you doing? This is my friend.
Hey, how you doing, man?
What you looking at, man?
Oh, nothing. I wasn't looking. I wasn't looking at his neck, man.
Can you honestly tell me that you forgot the magnetism of Robin Zander or the charisma of Rick Nielsen?
That's kid stuff.
Kid stuff. Well, how about the tunes? I want you to want me. The Dream Police. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da.
Build your muscles picking strawberries. You know, Bend and Scoop. Maybe I could get you a job with United Fruit. I got a buddy with United Fruit. Start with strawberries, you might work your way up to these goddamn bananas. When, boy, are you gonna get your act together?
We're creating a society of cell phone crazed, marijuana smoking zombies.
Coming to you not quite live from Lukewarm Tallboy Studios deep in the land of Gar, this is Bend and Scoop, the podcast featuring music, mirth, and minutia, focused on exposing artists you probably haven't heard, but should. I'm Bob, and I'll be your tour guide on this amazingly asymmetric auditory adventure as we journey to the center of your cochlea. Welcome to episode 68. Bend and Scoop is brought to you by Harder Concepts, the best bars in North Dallas. Visit one of the now 6 great Harder Concepts locations in DFW, including Scruffy Duffy's, Ringo's Pub, and the brand new Bottle Rockets, all at the Shops at Legacy in Plano, Saintsbury Tavern at Austin Ranch in the Colony, the Mucky Duck at Addison Circle in Addison, and Addison Ice House at Vitruvian Park in Addison. All Harder Concepts locations have great food, live music, an amazing beer and spirit selection, and a wait staff that's second to none. Whether you want to hang out with old friends or meet some new ones, there's no better place to get together and watch your favorite sports or hear some awesome tunes. Eat, drink, party harder. Joining us at the end of the show to play a round of Is That Your Vinyl Answer in the Groovin' After Party will be our special guest, Joe Scibilia, from the Rock and Roll and Coffee Show podcast. We spread the gospel of vinyl here at Bend and Scoop, so be sure to tell us all about your favorite neighborhood record store by posting to @BendScoop on Twitter or Instagram using the hashtag SpinMomandPop. Our record store of the week is Freakbeat Records in Sherman Oaks, California, a favorite of one of our guests from last week, Dave Sloan. You can follow them on Twitter at FreakBeatRex, on both Instagram and Facebook at Freakbeat Records, and you can check out their website at freakbeatrecords.com. Kicking things off from California is a band called Smirk. From a 2021 single, this is Staring at Screens.
Just give in.
WLOL. Hot damn! Channel 95.
That was Chicago's Spread Joy off their self-titled 2021 debut album that was unoriginal. The song title, not the music. It was very original. Campfire Songs is a podcast where I get together with my buddies Todd, Jim, and Tom to share and discuss songs with each other. Be sure to follow us on Twitter at Songs Campfire and give us a listen for more great music. From Toronto, here's a band called Motorists off their brand new 2021 album, Surrounded. This one's called Vainglorious.
Done. You know you're not the only one, and we
Come in.
Thorndyke, my Richard.
Professor Little Old Man.
Little old man. Oh, nobody gets it right. Little old man. Oh, Richard. Oh, Professor. Oh, my best pupil, my best student which I ever had. Yeah. A patient comes to you. He is suffering from Belden's hysteria. He has a seizure right in your office. What do you give him?
2 cc's of aqueous thorazine coupled with 1 cc of somodizine.
Ah, good. And the most important thing?
Never take a personal check.
From Philadelphia, that was Mesh off their 2021 self-titled EP. That one was called Company Jeep. Have you ever wanted to host a podcast? Well, all you have to do to join the Mike Hunt and host your very own episode of Assume the Juxtaposition is send me your topic idea to lukewarmtallboy@gmail.com. You can follow Assume the Juxtaposition on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, all at AssumeTJPod. Here's a new band out of Boston led by Sal Baglio. This is a self-titled 2021 album by the Peppermint Kicks. This song's Hey Fanzine.
Hey fanzine, rock and roll queen, won't you roll a riot girl? Sweet 16, lay out cherry burst. Crawled inside your pages at night, howling to a bootleg tape. On my bed, bouncing like a
From LA, that was Danny Dodge. Off his 2020 album Humor, that was Blue Jean, with a G, not a J. How Many is a podcast where I get together with my friends Jesse, Junior, Gary, and Scott to debate a variety of pop culture topics, including movies, sports, TV, music, and more. You can follow How Many on Twitter at How Many Podcast and listen at howmanypodcast.com. From Toronto, here's Bad Waitress. Off their brand new album No Taste, this one's Strawberry Milkshake.
I think you punctured something with that last shot. You do everything too hard, too hard.
Come to my room right after dinner.
No, not tonight. I'm too tired. I think I'm going to turn in early.
I'll let you wear my underwear.
I'll be there.
Montreal, that was Tallene. From their 2021 single, that was Economics. Plausible Deniability is a monthly podcast I co-host with my pal David Miller, which you can follow on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, all at Pause Deny. We post new episodes on the first day of every month. And don't forget to stick around for the end of the show, when we'll be joined in the Groovin' After Party by our special guest Joe Scibilia from the Rock and Roll and Coffee Show podcast. Here's a band out of Portland, Oregon called Lithics. Off their 2020 album Tower of Age, this is Twisting Vine.
Marches the harried bride.
thunderous drum, throbbing bass, razor-edge guitar, and red-hot vocals. The mix of raw power that's Van Halen. Wednesday, October 27th at 8, the Montreal Forum. 98 Rock Shome FM presents Van Halen. All seats reserved. All tickets $12 at the Forum box office, and all Ticketron outlets for Van Halen. Coming out around the world. Are you ready for a brand new beat? Van Halen. Van Halen, presented by Montreal's Concert Station. Shome FM, produced by Donald K. Donald.
From Austin, by way of Boston, that was Sweeping Promises off their 2021 album Hunger for a Way Out. That was An Appetite. If you want to listen to all this great music without having to hear me ramble between songs, be sure to check out our Bend and Scoop Spotify playlist. If we played it and they have it, you can listen to it there. And if you enjoy listening to what we do here on Bend and Scoop, please take a moment to subscribe, rate, and review us wherever you get your podcasts. And if you really enjoy what we do here at Bend and Scoop and would like to show your support, please feel free to drop a little something in our virtual tip jar at patreon.com/bendscoop. You know, all past episodes of Bend and Scoop are available online for your enjoyment anytime. So if you ever forget to listen one week, don't let it cause you high anxiety.
High Anxiety, starring Mel Brooks, Madeline Kahn, Cloris Leachman.
You may kill Thorndike.
Harvey Korman, Dick Van Patten. I'm quarter to wed. Ron Carey. And Charlie Callis. High Anxiety. What the heck? A psycho comedy rated PG.
Well, it's the high anxiety, victim of society. High anxiety, victim of society. High anxiety mind. It's my high anxiety getting to the best of me. Sometimes I feel like I'm gonna explode when I'm approaching total overload. I know that when I'm having a panic attack, to duck and cover, cause I can feel it coming. It's a high anxiety, victim of society. High anxiety, victim of society. High anxiety mind. It's my high anxiety getting to the best of me. This time I feel like I'm gonna die. Cold sweat, the fear is paralyzing. You know, I wish that of death, yeah. Under control, then I can feel some kind of closure. I feel this could go on and on without end. I guess I'll just have to write it out, cause it's a high anxiety, a victim of society. High anxiety, a victim of society. High anxiety, it's my high anxiety getting to the best of me. It's a high anxiety, victim of society. High anxiety, victim of society. High anxiety, it's my high anxiety getting to the best of me.
People listen to people. So listen, people.
Welcome to the Groovin' After Party. Come on in and pour yourself a cold one.
Joining me now for our Groovin' After Party here on Bend and Scoop is Joe Scibilia from the Rock and Roll and Coffee Show podcast. Welcome, Joe.
Hey, Bob. Thanks for having me.
So tell everybody a little bit about the Rock and Roll and Coffee Show.
The Rock and Roll and Coffee Show is a conversation podcast where I invite various guests from the music and film industry on and just have a real conversation with them. And by real conversation, what I mean is like, if you were to meet these people just on the street or on the airplane, what kind of conversation would you have with them? Nothing is prepared. I don't have any questions set that I'm going to ask them. It's just kind of a see how it goes.
Yeah, I listened to an episode you did fairly recently with Richard Patrick from Filter. And that was that was a really good interview, really good discussion. And you learn some things that you didn't know. Like, I love the fact that it just kind of organically came up about you being in Myrtle Beach. And then he's like, oh yeah, I used to live there for a while. And I started writing, hey man, nice shot in Myrtle Beach. It was like,
yeah, I had no idea. And that's what's fun about just seeing how the conversation goes. You never know what you're going to get into.
Yeah. And then when you guys were talking about, his sobriety and when he was, going through that process that he was, in with Chris Cornell at the time, and Chris Cornell kind of kept him from walking out of the session.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's stuff I've never heard before. So yeah, folks, give it a listen. It's really
awesome.
Really great. And I'm gonna have to go back and catch up on some of the other episodes. Like you said, you've got a lot of musicians on there, but like I noticed Keith Coogan was one of the folks you had, actors, been in a lot of stuff. So there's a mix there. So it's different. Now, do you usually release weekly, or what's your schedule?
It usually comes out every Thursday night. I like to say Friday because by the time I get it out Thursday, that's when I have the conversations, is on Thursday night.
Yeah.
So by the time I get it out, it's late Thursday night. So every Friday there'll be a new episode up there.
Awesome. Fantastic. It's great, folks. Give it a listen. Now, Joe, let's learn a little bit more about your own personal musical journey. And let's play around with something we like to call, is that your vinyl answer? And
let's do it.
We'll start off asking you if you can remember, what was the first record you remember buying with your own money back when you were a kid? It could be on vinyl. It could have been a CD, a cassette, whatever.
Probably the first thing that I bought with my own money would have been a cassette tape of Pyromania by Def Leppard.
Ah, yes.
Yeah, that would have been the first thing I bought. Now, the first record I had was probably, I want to say Kiss, Love Gun, but I don't think I bought that with my own money.
I remember very distinctly when I bought Pyromania. It was at a mall in Austin, and I want to say there were 3 records I bought, but the one I know for sure I bought on that same trip with Pyromania was Triumph Never Surrender. I bought those 2 records at exactly the same time. So that probably would have been 83, I think. Yeah,
I think it was like 83. Yeah,
it's a good pick.
Yeah,
though.
Great album.
Oh yeah,
Thanks.
Definitely. My personal favorite, the album I think is most overlooked, not only in Def Leppard's catalog, but just in 80s rock, is High and Dry. I love that record.
Very good album. Yes.
Don't give it enough credit.
No. That album right there pretty much defined them at that time. And then of course they hit it big with Pyromania and the hits, but yeah, High and Dry, great album.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, do you remember where you bought that Pyromania cassette, and do you still have it?
I do still have it. And
wow.
Yep, I still have it. I still have all my cassettes. But I would say I probably bought it. It had to be one of two places at that time. Would have been a Kmart, or it would have been at a place called Camelot Music in the mall.
Okay.
That was the record store in the mall.
Yeah. And where were you living at the time?
I was down in Sarasota, Florida.
Oh, all right.
You know where that is?
Yeah. Yeah. This big spring training hub.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely.
Yep.
Now, Joe, who do you own the most albums by, and which of theirs is your favorite?
I want to say probably AC/DC. I probably own the most albums. Excellent. And as far as the favorite would be, now my picks usually don't, other people usually don't agree with these picks, but I'd have to say Flick of the Switch or Fly on the Wall.
Now, Fly on the Wall, okay.
See your reaction?
Now, see, Flick of the Switch, I might put all the way at the bottom. But Fly on the Wall, I love Fly on the Wall, and everybody hates that record. And I'm telling you,
I know
that isn't. Now I need to go back and listen to Flick of the Switch, because that was the follow-up to For Those About to Rock, We Salute. And Back in Black, those, you got the 3 album run there. You got Highway to Hell, Back in Black, For Those About to Rock, just great records. So the build up, I was so looking forward to Flick of the Switch, and it was like, I mean, Guns for Hire is good. There's just some good songs on there, but it just didn't grab me. And I don't know if I've ever really gone back and listened to that record in like 30 years or so. So maybe I ought to give it another shot.
So that's the reaction I always get when I say that album. But do yourself a favor and go back and listen to that in its entirety, and you'll like it.
I will.
I'm telling you.
I liked Fly on the Wall so much. I don't even know if you'll remember this, but they put out basically a video album. They had a VHS, and it was like the entire record, just like one long video of all the songs set in this bar that were the Fly on the Wall. The whole thing was set at. And I think there was like, they carved out videos for like Danger and Shake Your Foundations or Sink the Pink or stuff from that video. But there was a VHS, and it was like an hour long or whatever. And it was just start to finish, continuous, almost like a mini movie. And I love that. I need to see if I can find that. It's got to be somewhere out there.
I vaguely remember the video, but I don't remember the content on it. So I'm going to have to look that up.
Yeah. But that album particularly, just feel like really underrate that one. Great
album, right?
Yeah. But I'm going to definitely go back and give Flick of the Switch another shot. I'll definitely do that.
You do that and let me know what you think of it.
All right, I will, Joe. I will, because AC/DC can rarely do any wrong in my eyes.
Right.
Matter of fact, that latest record they did, that Power Up, really good. Mm-hmm. That's the best thing they've done in 25 years, easily.
I'd have to agree. I picked that one up on vinyl.
Yeah, that was really good. I enjoyed that one. Is there any specific album that you have purchased more times over the years than any other? It could be to replace a loss, a different format. Maybe there was even a special edition.
I'd probably have to say it would be Shout at the Devil by Motley Crue. Okay. I'd probably purchase that most between picture discs, and I actually just picked it up about a month ago at a record store. Found a pretty good copy of it and grabbed it.
It's another great album, great record. Who has the biggest vinyl collection of anyone that you know, Joe? And what size is your record collection?
My record collection, I just started getting back into the vinyl, kind of like a lot of people have.
Yeah, like me too.
I'd probably say yeah. Mine's probably about, I'd say about 100 or so, right in that range right now.
That's about where I am, I think.
Yeah. And it's it's a pretty good selection. My dad had passed away, so he had some vinyl at his house, and I grabbed that, and that's kind of what got me back into it.
What sort of stuff did he have in his collection?
He had Jim Croce, Billy Joel, Fleetwood Mac,
so 70s
good albums.
Yeah, that's the same type of stuff my dad would listen to as well.
Yeah, so sure. I've got that. So that's what got me started back, and I got about 100 right now. And as far as the biggest collection out of people I know, it'd probably have to be my buddy Walt. He had quite a bit, if I recall. Walt's no longer with us, but he had quite a bit.
What would you ballpark his at? 500, 1,000?
Yeah, I'd probably say right in about the 500 range.
Nice.
That's quite a bit. I mean, there's people that have walls full of them, but yeah, that's a lot.
Now, Joe, what is your favorite mom and pop record store? Do you have one currently, or one that you remember from when you were growing up?
I don't have a favorite. The ones around here are okay. Yeah, they're okay. I find, believe it or not, I find a lot of my records that I get now at antique shops.
Yeah, that's a great place to find them for sure.
Yeah. But there's a couple okay record stores around here. Kilgore Trouts. I don't know if you're familiar with that. I'm out here in South Carolina.
You're in Myrtle Beach, right?
Beach area. Yeah. And then we've got, a couple down in Charleston that aren't too bad, but usually it's antique shops.
Yeah. Antique shops and thrift stores are good to find things. It's always a crapshoot on the condition because at least with some record stores, they're certain if it's bad enough, they probably won't buy it as a used, to put in their inventory. Yeah. But it's hard to tell looking at them. I've got a couple of records that I bought that if you look at them, you're like, this thing there's no way that's going to play. It's going to skip a million times. Pristine. Nothing wrong with it. It's like, it's weird how visually it's not always an indicator.
Yeah.
Some of those scratches, real gnarly, ugly. Joe, what would you say is your all-time favorite cover song? So the version that a band or artist did better than the original.
Well, I've always liked "Come Together" by Aerosmith. I thought they did a good job on that one.
Yeah.
All Along the Watchtower is a good one too.
Yeah, that's probably the all-time champ right there. And the thing with Come Together is that's really like a perfect showcase vocally and lyrically for Steven Tyler, because it's got just that weird phrasing and the way the lyrics are written. It's like Steven Tyler seems like the right guy to deliver that sort of lyrics.
It was perfect. I mean, they didn't go too far off the original, but they added that little grit to it, with his voice, and I like it. It's a good one.
Yeah, and I can't recall. I know for sure it was used and featured in that Sgt. Pepper's movie that had the Bee Gees and Peter Frampton, but I don't remember if they recorded it specifically for that movie or if it was something that just got included after the fact. But yeah, that's a great tune.
They were in that movie too. Remember that?
Yeah, they were in it. Mm-hmm. Alice Cooper did something. Yeah, that movie, I was explaining that movie to one of my kids. Like, so in the late 70s, they made a movie about Sgt. Pepper, but they used the Bee Gees and Peter Frampton. Like, Andy Gibb, if you're going to go Bee Gees, why not but it was so random. Everything about that movie was weird. George Burns was in it. Steve Martin, Maxwell Silverhammer. That's really crazy. Well, Joe, one other thing I wanted to chat with you about before we wrap up is you are also a musician, and you mentioned AC/DC. Well, one of your bands, it was Brian Johnson was very directly involved or is directly involved in one of your bands, correct?
That's correct. He was.
How did that come about?
The name of the band? Well, I had this producer, guitar player friend, and he came to me one day. I was playing in a local pop punk band at the time down in Florida. And he came to me and said, Brian and him were writing these songs and they would like me to play bass. So of course I said, well, okay, I'll do it. And then we got some other musicians from other bands that were in the area, and we would start writing songs with Brian. It was back in like 2005 when we did this. It was a little project. And that was kind of around when AC/DC took that long break. I don't know if you remember, but they had a long break back then. So I think Brian just kind of wanted to get out there and do something. So he'd come to rehearsals with us, and we'd write these songs. And,
and he came to Florida. He came to Florida.
Well, he lived there.
Oh, really? Okay.
He lived there. So, we did our first show we played was for some lawyers that, of course, Brian got down to see us. And Brian was there also, and he got up on stage with us, and we did Back in Black and Dirty Deeds, and it was a great time.
That's awesome. Everything I've ever seen about him, seen him interviewed, heard, it seems like he's a great dude. So it's cool that you really got to spend some actual time and got involved with him on a musical level as well.
Yeah, it was a good time. He was nothing but good to me. He had us over his house for a 4th of July barbecue with the Skid Row guys because they were in town.
Wow.
And I didn't have a bathing suit at the time. So he told me just go up in his room and grab one of his. So when I'm sitting up there going through his drawers, grabbing a bathing suit.
Man, he
was a good guy. Yeah.
That's fantastic. So what are you doing these days, music?
Right now, I do a lot of home recording. I've been doing some cover songs with various musicians that I've had on my podcast. I haven't released any of them yet, so I'm not going to say who is on these songs. But so far, we did a cover of Simple Man, and we just did Another Thing Coming by Judas Priest.
Ooh, good.
There'll be more coming out. Yeah, so just kind of doing stuff for fun now.
Awesome. Well, we look forward to those. Hopefully, we can post those on Spotify and that sort of thing.
I'm not sure what I'm going to do with them yet. And of course, I got to get everyone's okay to release them. But
sure,
we'll see. We might hear from them soon.
Yeah, hopefully get to hear those at some point. That'd be great. So, Joe, what social media information do you have about the show and yourself that you want to share as far as Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, anything like that?
Well, the show is available on all podcasting platforms. You know, all the usuals, the Spotify's, the iTunes, Stitcher, wherever you listen to podcasts. As far as social media goes, I'm on Facebook, Twitter, and most actively on Instagram. And you can find the show at R&R Coffee Show is all three of them. Also a website at rnrcoffeeshow.com. It'll have all the episodes and a little bit more information out there.
Fantastic. Folks, like I said, give it a listen. It's great. You'll really get to learn some things about these interviewees, and whether it's rock and roll, whether it's film, whatever the case may be, Joe does a great job. It's really definitely worth checking it out. Joe, thanks so much, man, for your time.
Yeah. That was fun.
Don't worry about it, guys. It's all in the mix.
Bye-bye, lardass.
Bend and Scoop is a production of Lukewarm Tallboy Studios.
We will return tomorrow morning with the sun.
Good evening, and have a good life.